to the Captain Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we're back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And yeah, today we're going to cover some interesting PulseChain news. Richard Hart just uploaded a video effectively proving a lot of people wrong, because there's been rumors where I have a tweet right here. Look at this. Sad if true, one of Finland's highest earning men has been in prison. So people were saying, actually, what if Richard Hart wasn't the person tweeting anymore, behind the Twitter account? Yes, he does have that disclaimer there, but that could be for a lot of different reasons, which we're not going to get into in this video. There's different theories. And then you have people who are saying, he's kidnapped, he's dead. So finally, we're seeing him uploading almost an hour-long video, which I'm going to go through a summary here, compiled by Grok, and also we have a nice little thread that we're going to go through here from Dr. Pegger. Big shout out to him. I'm actually going to give him a follow as well, and I think you guys should do as well. So yeah, it's going to be pretty PulseChain focused in terms of the wider crypto market, more or less kind of on the sideways. Now, since my last video, the price actually did go up. We're currently at 92,000, doing really great in terms of bouncing off the golden zone. Guys, I'm telling you, it is pretty beautiful to see this. It does kind of align with my theory so far that we've been through, wave one as unsatisfactory as it could be. And honestly, there is an even bigger chance that we haven't even began the true bull run, right? We're not even in quantitative easing times, right? The beginning of 1st of December, 3 days ago. Hopefully we're going to see a federal rate cut soon as well. We have, global liquidity index. We know about the stimulus check that Donald Trump wants to give out from the tariff dividends. Guys, it's a lot of crazy, interesting things. And yes, at the same time, in my opinion, it does feel like AI is what's keeping us from going into recession. Unfortunately, we are seeing rising jobless claims, rising unemployment rate, which hopefully that will get fixed by stimulating the economy with more deals are going to lead to, for example, the AI is also helping in the construction industry, which is great. Now, if there's going to be a bubble popping, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because if you guys understand, what actually causes the bubble to pop is quantitative tightening. So you think right now, how long will it take for us to reach the peak of quantitative easing? It's going to take months, and perhaps it's going to take months to start the quantitative easing, and then, which is going to take us down to roughly 1 or even 0% interest rate, right? And then another transition to go into the beginning of quantitative tightening, right? That's exactly what happened in 2007 before the financial crisis. The Federal Reserve increased the interest rates, and it screwed a lot of people over that bought houses with variable mortgage rates. Okay, and that's kind of started the whole collateral damage, if you will. The same thing with the dot-com bubble as well, where you have things like Amara's law, which can apply to crypto. Same thing with PulseChain, for example. People are telling me, Khaled, you've been making videos for years for PulseChain. Why are you not bullish? Sorry, how are you bullish? When are you going to be honest with yourself? And guys, PulseChain launched in the middle of the bear market. I've said this many times. I cannot have expectations of profit, even though 2024 was an amazing year. Guys, you understand that altcoins, if you think of it as a process flow chart, right? You have money inflow. Step 0 is gold going up. And we've been seeing that. That's great. That's step 1, check. Step 2 is Bitcoin going up. Okay, we've started seeing that. We're creating a higher high, higher low. Look at this. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Even though, yes, we've broken under the 50 weekly moving average, which was a strong indicator. Okay, fair enough, but we're still in an upward trajectory. When you think of the macro trend, disregarding the short-term price noise, disregarding geopolitics, which also can be considered as noise, we're still going up. Okay, corrections are something normal that happens. This is a feature that comes with, or kind of a byproduct that comes with being in the crypto industry. Okay, if you're going to be happy with making a 2x every 5 years in the stock market, then go there. If you can't handle the heat, then stay out of the kitchen. Okay, but here we're in crypto. We understand these risks, because I want you guys to be a disciplined investor like me. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue making these videos. I'm not going anywhere. Guys, this is a journey. I am taking this risk, and PulseChain is where I want to take that risk, similar to how the devs took that risk with Ethereum when it came. Okay, and we're going to be a leverage on Ethereum's success. So think about it, in the last 2 years, when Bitcoin went all the way up to 120,000, did Ethereum go up 5,000 plus? No, it barely reached previous cycles all-time high. So how are we going to expect PulseChain to outperform? How are we going to expect altcoins in general aside, right? So you have large cap altcoins and you have regular altcoins, which PulseChain falls in. PulseChain is a 200 million, guys. Look at this. It's a 264 million market cap. We're not a large cap. So things like Solana, things like BSC, it's expected for them to go up. Okay? It's very correlated through Hart's law, but PulseChain is not that tied in through Hart's law with the rest of the crypto market. But the sentiments does also affect us. So all I'm trying to say, guys, we will have our turn. We need Ethereum to be above $5,000. Okay, we need Ethereum to be above, I don't know, $6,000, $7,000. That's actually my first target. If you think about the Fibonacci extensions, the first target to reach is the 7K mark. Okay, and then you have the other mark, which is kind of an aspirational target for me, is an $11,000 target. Telling you guys, if Bitcoin dominance is under 55%, if the others total crypto market cap is at the 1 trillion part, which, you know, you can go check it now, it's not there yet. And then if the Ethereum price is above $6,000 and PulseChain is not outperforming the market, then you can come to me and say, you know what, maybe PulseChain is a failure. But guess what? None of those three conditions are met yet. So let's be patient, okay? Don't invest with money that you're not willing to lose or money that you need to pay bills with. Have a healthy relationship with your portfolio. I want you guys to enjoy life, okay? Get busy doing something else or learn about the space that you're in. It's not going to harm you. Matter of fact, it's going to leverage, guys. Wilson's law. Prioritize knowledge and money will follow suit. That's what I've been doing. I'm telling you, the knowledge that I've gained in the last 2 years is actually worth more than 100x. Is worth more. So with that out of the way, looking at this chart here as well, this is what I'm talking about with how Bitcoin is undervalued with gold. It's undervalued with the global M2 money supply. So in the last few months, you can see here, 83 days, we've been going pretty sideways. So of course, if we're going to go sideways in the global M2 money supply, we can't expect things like, you know, risk on assets like Bitcoin to do well. So now you have things like gold, which usually people say gold leads the way for Bitcoin. So now, and look at this, it's kind of beautiful. The chart is a painting. Okay, it's going up, and of course Bitcoin now is falling down for many different factors, right? You have other, like, you know, tariff scares, the stuff that happened in the 10th of October, absolutely crazy market manipulation. You had someone, right, who created a short position of worth $100 million plus on Bitcoin a few minutes before Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that he's gonna put 100% tariffs on China. So not only manipulation, right, from these leverage exchanges that are purposefully wicking those prices down to trigger people's stop losses so they can make money, you also have insider trading. It's pretty scary, huh? It's pretty scary. So please be careful. Stay away from leveraging, guys. Have spot positions. Own the tokens that you have. So it's kind of agnostic of the price. Especially if you have a long-term mindset, you should be fine. Everything is noise and block it. Today's price is not equal to value. Think, guys. Stay rational. I understand it's a daily struggle. It's a daily battle that you have to do, is battling your emotions. Okay? So I'm going to leave you, before we go into the news and stuff, I'm just going to remind you guys, less number of trades is more. Okay? The money is made in the waiting, not in the trading. Okay? Speak like the same thing with like real estate investors. They all they think about is like, actually, I make money when I buy stuff, when I hold stuff, and then you let it appreciate. I'm not even thinking about selling. I just want to buy more and more and more. That's you focusing on the unit number, as in like, okay, I want to accumulate the unit numbers of INC. It's at 60 cents, guys. Its all-time high was $80 right here. PulseX, look at this. It will cost you $1,000 to get 100 million INC. Look at this, $15 to get 1 million. Pulse. Hex is like in its all-time lows, guys. And we have things like pDai, 1.5K to buy 1 million pDai. That's a goal. That's a lottery ticket right there. That's the cheapest lottery ticket I've ever seen. PWBTC. It's like rewinding time back to 2015, 2014. When I was playing, you know what I mean? You got people blocking, mining blocks for Bitcoin. I'm here mining blocks in Minecraft. What was I doing, bruv? You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, I had a good childhood, of course. There's always going to be new opportunities, so don't beat yourself too much on that, okay? I want you guys, because for example, you have Ethereum as well that happened in 2016. Why didn't I get into that? There was an ICO where Ethereum was 30 cents, guys. It's crazy. And then you have BSC as well. I'm not sure if it was a public ICO with Binance. But nonetheless, we're going to continue. I really appreciate you guys, by the way. I just want to start off with this tweet here from James Wynn. Okay, trying to be like, oh yeah, this is the guy that knows it. But brother, you've been screwed by the market many times. You're actually a fool right now. You're a laughing stock of the crypto space in Twitter, honestly. You have him saying, F the bulls. We're in a bear market. Win. Unless this guy is hired by the feds to kind of shake off people, that's actually more convincing theory, because there's no way this guy is this, not knowledgeable, especially the fact that he's a whale. And this is a reminder to people that people who are rich, and then you see them talk about trading and stuff, doesn't necessarily mean that they're good in this space, because they could be bringing money in from like their other businesses, okay? Or they could have been a one-hit wonder, for example, right? This guy, for example, made most of his money from Pepe, and then all of a sudden people are putting him on this like, oh my god, bro, tell us how you do this, what's your formula, when he got lucky once. Do you understand me, guys? Okay, so yeah, here it is, Inverse Oracle. Keep an eye on what James Wynn says. And I also wanted to say a big shout out to Sir Nathan here. He made this AI video, which I can't play fully because it's, has a copyrighted music, at least I think. So I'm going to show a clip here where he shows Somi, and then I'm also in the video. Mom, I just made it. So yeah, big shout out to it. It's a beautiful video, by the way. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. That's me. That's me, guys. What's going on? Whoa. You got Liberty Swap. Beautiful, beautiful. So many different characters as well. Look at this. I think that's Sir Nathan himself with a tinfoil hat. And then you'll see Panos. Big shout out to their spaces. You got Giga as well. There you go. KR. Iced up. Lovely. Oh, there you go. That's Matty's thing imaging. I think he sold the car as well. The DeLorean. But anyways, we're going to move on now. We're going to start with some negative tweets, okay? I'm going to go through the summary of this video, which I'll still leave the link in the description. You can see it's right here. ProveX sacrifice, everything you need to know. And it got a decent amount of views. Like you can see, that's 13K views. We're going to check the website. And then you have it here from Brandon B. Says, breaking. Richie the Cowardly Con Man has finally posted proof of life in a new video. Interesting how he just couldn't possibly get out there to promote PulseChain, but he can make a video and try to take more of your money. So, I mean, that's what this guy is saying. That's his point. That's his perspective at the end of the day. I don't really agree with him, but I want to show you guys the other side of the coin, okay? I don't want to block the bearish discussions about Richard Hart and about PulseChain, okay? I want you guys to be aware of both sides, so that you can really make up your own mind in a kind of a holistic way, right? I want to cover both sides. But yeah, we're going to look through, before we go through this thread here from Dr. Pegger, does really good job dissecting the problem and the solution and how this affects PulseChain in a good way, okay? But before we do that, here's a little summary from Grok, giving us some important takeaways. So I copy pasted the transcript. Important takeaways and key topics discussed. ProveX enables trustless counterparty risk free proof of off-chain events, so PayPal, email payments, wire transfers, etc., using zero knowledge proofs from existing SSL certificates. Solves the biggest pain point of peer-to-peer trading, proving I already sent the fiat payment without screenshots or trusting exchanges. So effectively, the pain point here is if you want to do kind of like an OTC, so over-the-counter trade, when you want to off-ramp, you want to go straight from crypto to fiat, but not going through a centralized exchange, right, which requires KYC and a lot of other things, right? So that's basically what's ProveX, guys. It's a real utility natively built on PulseChain. So I don't know what other people are talking about with how, oh, he's not marketing PulseChain. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's natively being built on PulseChain. It's going to be perhaps a browser extension. And yeah, like, it's pretty cool. Richard believes, we're going to check the website in a second. Richard believes this is a 0 to 1 innovation like Bitcoin's proof of work, not another layer 1 or DEX in an overcrowded market. Most new tokens launched recently have terrible charts. Spike day 1 and then die forever. I mean, Pulse and PulseX kind of did the same thing. Okay, they did a 3x in the first couple of days, and it's been basically down since then. Yeah, so I feel bad for the people that bought over the sack rate. That's the worst thing. But if you bought at this, if you sacrificed or you bought and you've been DCing for the last few years or a couple of years, you'll probably be in a really, really good position, by the way. Really, really good position, because we launched in the middle of the bear market. It allowed people now who don't have upfront capital to accumulate their positions to be something meaningful, right? So now all of a sudden, actually, we don't need 1000x. We just need 100x to make that generational wealth. Think about the sacrifice funds as well, guys. Okay, I know right now we went through Tornado Cash. We don't know what's going on. I think that's all part of the plan. Okay, I might sound crazy. I believe Richard had way too much. Yeah, sure. You're right now. And I don't care about being right. I just care about making money. And you know what? The global market conditions, it doesn't make sense for him to start streaming. It doesn't make sense for him to rotate the funds in now, right? Because he has to time it with the quantitative easing times, with the risk appetite times, with the retail FOMO times, to play around, as a catalyst that will spark the positive feedback loop. Because remember, right, when I speak about, it's crazy how we have low volumes when Bitcoin is really cheap, but high volume when Bitcoin is really expensive. That kind of goes against the market psychology. Well, guys, if you think about it, that's called the positive feedback loop, right? You have people that have the herd behavior, unfortunately, right? Majority of people have the herd behavior, which is they just want to follow what the crowd is doing with the minimum amount of research. Okay, and people now will say, I'm only going to buy Bitcoin if it's bullish. And their definition of bullish is if the number is going up already. So that's why when you see high number of prices for Bitcoin, which is attributed with high volume, it actually then it gets more eyeballs on Bitcoin, and it gets more people to buy it, to push up the price more, to increase the volume, to get more people to buy it even more. So that's what PulseChain needs. It needs that initial spark. I think Richard Hart's plan is to do that initial spark with the sacrifice funds. Okay, he's already tried doing that in 2024. It basically didn't work well, and that made sense, right? Because we never were under the 55% Bitcoin dominance, guys. Come on. It makes sense now that you look at other external factors that are perhaps off-chain, right? Not everything can be told from the chart. Technical analysis is only one type of analysis. You have sentimental analysis, and you have the fundamental analysis, and a bunch of other things, like I already mentioned, like the geopolitics and stuff. Stuff like Ray Dalio, what he teaches. Shout out to him. Anyways, so going back to it here. Less sacrifice volume now is equal to much lower future sell pressure when token eventually gets liquidity and price. PulseChain ecosystem already has everything Bitcoin, Ethereum lack. On-chain DEX, there you go, right? Native DEX, which is not what Uniswap is. Time-locked staking, faster, cheaper blocks. Yes, we are. Reflexive liquidity, most liquidity paired with Pulse. Everything moves together. There you go, 100%. This is why I'm telling you, ProveX is not going to make the Core 4 less attractive. Matter of fact, ProveX is probably going to launch, but Richard Hart is just going to target to pump Pulse because it's going to pump everything else either way. So this is why I didn't really sacrifice in ProveX, guys. I chose to just DCA in the Core 4 and the Core 7. Simple. Store value, reflexivity beats pure free utility models. Richard again stresses Hex's 1,000,000% rise came from staking, locking, reducing sell pressure. Bingo, yeah. Strong criticism of Ethereum's direction. Too much block space inflation. Fees too low. No reason to hold Ethereum. PulseX's chart looks amazing versus Pulse because of superior buy and burn. Yeah, PulseX is beautiful, guys. Don't sleep on PulseX. ProveX will follow the same can only burn, never mint model like PulseX. Yep. The ecosystem just needs marketing, rotation, and time. The tech stack is already superior to Bitcoin and most chains. 100%. 100%. Same thing with Ethereum, right? Guys, you understand how innovative Ethereum was. It started off as a proof of work, yes, and then, you know, with the ETH 2.0 now it became a proof of stake with the you know, different consensus mechanism. It also enabled things like, you know, smart contracts, which technically Bitcoin does have. In a way, you can do operations, but it's just not feasible to do a lot of operations. Like, Bitcoin is not Turing complete. Fun fact. Okay. Ethereum enabled things like stablecoins, smart contracts. You can make tokens. You have NFTs. You have inscriptions as well, I believe, and a bunch of other like ERC standards. Guys, it's pretty crazy. And the fact that we are a fork of Ethereum gives us longevity, guys. We are AVM compatible. We can inherit every new feature Ethereum has. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy that is? Interesting. Bullish sentences, comments on PulseChain ecosystem from Richard Hart from the video. PulseChain, PulseX, Hex are amazing, and all they need is some marketing. PulseX versus Pulse. It's an amazing looking chart in favor of PulseX because of superior buy and burn, no inflation. Reflexivity is required. If one goes up, they all go up. Simple, Hart's law, right? Look at this. Pulse goes up, PulseX goes up, Hex goes up, IC goes up. Interconnected liquidity. We have better tech than Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have on-chain exchange and hasn't for 15 years. This ecosystem just needs a little marketing. That's it. It's better than so many other things. If you keep doing the right thing, it should become more valuable. I think PulseChain is cooler than Ethereum. In a world where the better stuff gets rewarded, you should still be a lot higher than you are now. We're doing it better. We're releasing new technology nobody else has with no competitors. In summary, Richard is extremely bullish on PulseChain stack long-term. Views ProveX as the next major catalyst. New, primitive, fair launch, strong tokenomics, and believes the current low attention sacrifice phase is intentional to create the cleanest possible chart when liquidity and marketing eventually arrive. So, going back to Dr. Pegger, says Richard Hart just backed one of the only actually new crypto primitives in years. It's called ProveX. Here's what to know about it. He gives us the website, Political Sacrifice, and the ProveX.com. It's a free token for the sacrifice set with buy and burn mechanics built on zero knowledge proofs that do things a blockchain cannot do alone. Think back to Bitcoin. The innovation wasn't C++, Qt, or some databases. The breakthrough was free token distribution to on-ramp users, proof of work to stop double spends, belief before price. ProveX is the kind of primitive layer move, not just a ticker. Blockchains solve double spending, timestamping. Did this transaction happen on chain and when? What they don't solve, did this server company, bank / app say X off chain, etc., etc.? Did this wire paper actually happen? Can I prove it without doxing? This is where ProveX lives, right? This is the problem that it's solving. The modern trick. You can issue cryptographic proofs from the same SSL certificate you see in your browser. That little, on the top left, this specific server said this thing by this time, then push that proof on chain with zero knowledge. Example, OTC trade with centralized exchange. You want fiat, they want crypto. You don't want, bro, I sent it. With ProveX style proofs, they pay via whatever. Their browser signs a statement. You get a cryptographic proof they actually paid it. So yeah, again, using private key pair, which is the certificates, right? That is again trusted by the certificate authority, whatever it is. Then you release no KYC, no centralized exchange, no middlemen. This isn't limited to payments. You can prove you really got an email from X. A website really showed Y. A platform really recorded Z followers matches actions, all without handing over raw screenshots or sensitive data. Lovely jubbly. This is like a zero trust exchange. Zero knowledge. Proof is equal to proof, truth, hide details. All right, and he goes, but the tech already exists in the wild, ZK P2P. But bad brand, no token, almost no users, no real economic loop. Richard's move is classical Satoshi play. Take a powerful open primitive, wrap it in a brand plus token plus incentives, supercharge adoption. Because yeah, incentives is the fact that this has a buy and burn, guys. It's a 2%. I believe it's 1% in and out. And you can see this is a beautiful looking website, which, by the way, I feel like he got this inspiration from my website, right? For the website competition. If you guys remembered, I showed you guys, this is from a few weeks ago now, where it was a competition. He still didn't announce the winner, and I feel like, hold on, did he just get this as an inspiration from my website? You know, I don't know. That's kind of cool. Yeah, because this is the website. This is my entry for the competition. You guys can see this. It is like still public. Like I'm hosting it myself on my own virtual private server at ProveX.dev. There you have it. You guys can go check it out. You know, it basically summarizes what ProveX is about. But at the same time, obviously, go to ProveX.com to see, which I'll review probably in a separate video. I don't want to make this video too long, right? So yeah. If we go down here, important, ProveX is not just a layer 1 or layer 2. Layer 1's extremely crowded, charts mostly wrecked. Layer 2's thousands of competitors, same story, plus they're like leeches off of the layer 1. ProveX is a new category. Proof of off-chain statements, monetized plus integrated with chains. That gives it pricing power that others don't have. On ProveX, you'll see 2% buy and burn, one on each side. Token can only be burnt, never minted. It's designed to actually charge for valuable proofs and feed that value back into the token. This is the opposite of free forever, die slowly, ghost chain economics. Richard also very clear on reflexivity, kind of read on that. Okay, we're gonna scroll down a little bit. I don't want to do too much. I'll leave you guys, to read this as well. PulseChain context. Full system state fork of Ethereum, faster block time, lower inflation, native on-chain DEX. Now add a new primitive that lets any chain prove off-chain events. A token with buy and burn supply, almost no direct competition. Beautiful. Regulation angle. Governments hate lies more than proofs. A system that proves KYC done, payments actually sent, records are authentic without exposing full raw data. That's not obviously enemy of the state, that's infrastructure. AI side quest he dropped is wild. Wait, hold on, what? Tools like Slither plus modern AI are finding millions in smart contract exploits. Expect every AI upgrade to be used to hunt chain vulnerabilities, permanent white hat versus black hat arms race. Point being, this ecosystem is secure aware. On cycles, Bitcoin at 2 to 3x with no longer gives generational wealth. Hold on, that's kind of my point. With a diminishing return concept. Ethereum down over 5-year window despite being great tech. That's also what I started with this video with, right? Telling you, surely it wasn't the top of the cycle because Ethereum barely reaches all-time high from the previous cycle. Heavy market caps, S-curve maturity, institutional bags. Richard's thesis: lighter systems, better tech, real primitives like ProveX have more upside. So his closure was Hex, PulseChain, PulseX are fundamentally strong but under-marketed. So Richard is aware of this. He knows, guys. ProveX is a new weapon in the stack, not a side quest. Better tech, enough time, relentless effort, the world eventually bends. If you do the best you can long enough, the world yields. Love that. Love that, love that. So guys, listen, I'm going to end the video with going through the highlighted comments. Okay, I will scratch that. There is no highlighted comments. I do apologize, guys. I did not take a screenshot, but that's exactly what I'm going to do the next video. But you guys are amazing. Thank you so much, by the way, to the YouTube members who are choosing to support me. But I did read all the comments in the previous video. You guys are saying to continue doing what I do. You do want to see me do daily uploads, and you guys are so nice to me, and I'm taught to thank the people, because if I don't, it's as if I didn't thank God. So again, guys, thank you so much for your support and being on this journey with me, because I promise you, I've actually been stronger. I learned so much because you guys encouraged me to make more videos, and it's a beautiful, beautiful loop and exchange that we're having right now. So again, you guys are absolutely amazing. You can go follow me on my Twitter. I'm almost at 5,000 followers and almost at 10,000 subscribers. So can I reach that sometime soon? We shall see. I'm so excited for the future, for crypto, and I'm going to continue building. So I have things that I'm working in the background, nothing to announce yet. Learning a lot of things. You know, remember Wilson's Law, if you're not earning, you should be learning. So with that, remember, big shout out to the man above, trust in the process, trust in God. I'll see you next one.